Hello everybody, welcome to my Amazon guide for NAF/arena/setups. This is the new team for Blood Bowl 3 just come out and can take you right to it here. This is NAF is, the typical tabletop tournaments that people go to, and also we've got the arena on Blood Bowl 3 now, which is the same kind of format generally. Like they fluctuate a lot, but the general baseline is 1150 for a team and six skills for like a tier 1 team. Amazons are pretty much always tier 1, sometimes tier 0. They are widely recognised as one of, if not the best team on tabletop. This is a pretty typical team that you'd make here. 13 players, so you've got a lot of reliability with, you can foul a bit, you can get players removed because you're only AV8+. 4 rerolls, mega reliability. You can push for things with the extra rerolls. An apothecary as well. You could also drop 2 rerolls and go with a bribe or something, or drop a reroll and go with a keg maybe. Dropping 1 reroll and going with a keg, that wouldn't be terrible, but I like the rerolls, right? Because on tabletop you've got to win in 16 turns to win the tournament. You've got to win all your games, and that means you're going to have to push your luck sometimes. You've got to push for wins. They do struggle a bit doing that. They're great in the normal sequence of play, right? They're great defending, but if you do a great job defending and get your opponent to score on turn 5, you've really then got to nail the 3-turn touchdown, right? So I guess there's also the option of dropping a reroll for the thrower. Thrower isn't great, but again, it helps smooth out that quick score if you're going for wins. So yeah, the thrower could definitely be an option there as well. I had 10k left over, so I went with an assistant coach. So yeah, if you drop the apothecary, if you drop the reroll down, you'd have an extra 30k, so you'd have 40k left. Which would be 4 assistant coaches. It could also be a mascot on tabletop, which would be incredible. So I'd maybe go with a mascot on tabletop, honestly, and the thrower. But yeah, skill-wise, we've got a block blitzer, a wrestle blitzer. I've seen a lot of people use this. I might prefer 2 blocks. Wrestle lets you get down blodges a little bit, doesn't it? Situational sweeper. So wrestle has got some value there. You can't stack skills. That's the problem, right? Other people start with blocks and they can take tackle and have block and tackle, but because Amazons don't start with any block at all, you're pretty much reduced to just taking block and wrestle and guard. So yeah, we've got a couple of block linemen here. Make your LOS hits, block on one of the blitzers, they can carry the ball. Wrestle on one of the blitzers, and then a couple of guards with defensive and strength 4, the blockers. So yeah, it's powerful. You can screen off, you can base everything. You probably want to screen off where possible, and then everything bases at once. Your opponent can't deal with them because they can't knock anything over because you're Amazons. You've got dodge. They generally don't have block themselves, right? So you want your block players to base their plays with block so that they can't knock you over still, right? So, but against most players that don't have block, your guys are, might as well have block and dodge, right? Because you're only getting them over 1 in 6 times, about 30% with 2 dice. So you really can just wall off, screen as long as possible, probably, and then everything goes in. Your opponent can't deal with it, and bad things happen to them. Offense is a bit trickier, but again, the fact that your players aren't generally going down is really, really good. You can have a look at some of the formations here I saved. Let's start with the offensive one. Offensive formation is a bit of a weird one to save because obviously it's entirely reactive to how your opponent sets up on defense. But we've got the block blitzer here to pick up the ball. We've protected, against a blitz somewhat with having these skillless linemen here and this skillless lineman. We've got the blocks on the LOS and the wrestle to make the LOS hits, and then the strength 4 guarders to shore everything up. But again, this would be entirely reliant on your opponent's setup realistically. But it's just a rough guide. That defensively, this is probably the standard one, right? You've got 3 skillless linos on the LOS, skillless linos exposed, and then your block lineman protected, your strength 4 guard is protected, and your block and wrestle protected. Most players, you know, they're going to have at least a block mighty blow player, and that's still bad for you. Even, you know, block tackle mighty blow is really bad, but block mighty blow is bad enough. Depending on the situation, you could do things like move these guards forward. In fact, you could even move these forward, right? You could just have everything in a big line and hope that everything defends itself like each other, or do something like this. There's variance on this formation. No, wait, there's the guard. So, you know, there's variance in this formation. There's things you can do, but this is one of the better ones. You know, it depends what they've got, right? It depends what players they have. The fact that these have defensive, if you put them on the edge, you know, they're only getting hit by like big guys or whatever, right? But then big guys might go for them. If someone's got a block ogre, they're going to probably blitz this blitzer, so you probably don't want them there. So I figured that the just the 5 was like safer, right? Oh, it's gone now. But the rule of 5 is like the safer defense. Yeah, you're not going to go wrong with this. This just protects your best players from getting hit on turn 1. Very good. If you're defending a quick score, then we've got the strength 4s on the outside here to hold the outside. We've got blocks on the interior to hold the interior, and this is chevrons. So you've got the three tight on the LOS. So if you've got like these wide, then they can just come through the middle, right? So you don't want the LOS spread out like this. Makes it too easy for them to come through the middle. So if you go on chevrons, you want the center LOS tight, and they're going to have to push through down this side or down through the middle here somehow. So yeah, block makes this a bit firmer, and strength 4 makes this a bit firmer as well, and with guard as well, defensive as well, just makes them really hard to blitz down the side here. So they're probably going to come through the middle, then you can collapse from both sides. It really only if against quick score, but then, you know, you're not really exposing too much good, right? You're still kind of protecting your good players, because these are really hard to hit. So you could use this in normal drives as well, but generally only if someone's trying to 2-turn. Some variation of the protect defense is what you're going to usually use. If you score on turn 8, I like to have this saved so I can just, you know, set up and protect my players. And then if you're defending a 1-turn, we've got this, which this is so actually, first of all, I messed this up because I forget that this is the end zone. So these should be 1 square further, right? So you've got to dodge through. This is good. It's actually probably the best 1-turn defense versus like Skaven, right? If Skaven have got a sidestep, got a runner, and a juggernaut rat ogre, you can't really defend the 1-turn. So at least make them make a bunch of dodges. If it's like something like, you know, wood elves that are only movement 8, or dark elves that are only movement 7, then something like this can prevent the pushes. You've got the guards, or they could be in the strength. The strength 4 could be on the line as well, right? Depends on what you're facing, but at least having the guards there makes it a bit difficult. I like having these players here so they can't hit from this angle. Hitting from here is really good. Like you see, some people will have their line back here, and I think that's too easy, because then you can do things with these two. So I like my line here defending against a 1-turn touchdown, and you know, you've got like a web of tackle zones and stuff. It's pretty decent, right? But yeah, niche. Like, you know, not too many people are going to try 1-turns against you. This is the lazy setup. You know, just having a save to save time is nice. Chevrons only against quick scores usually, and usually, you know, just protect your players, and then everything can react and go places. But there are going to be better ways situationally to protect your players. This is just the guaranteed safety for all. You know, like these 5 are definitely safe, and this one's pretty safe behind the LOS. So yeah, there are the formations I'd use. That's the team I would pick. And that is Amazons in NAF style and arena and setups. So there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and stay fantastic.